Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to talk to you about 4 tools that you need to have in your blacksmith or bladesmith shop. Some of them maybe you've heard of and are even using, some of them maybe you haven't, especially if you're just getting into the craft. So these are all tools that are inexpensive and easy to get, so let's get right into it. First tool is a flexible stainless steel ruler. And in this case I have a W brand horseshoers ruler, and it's got a bunch of different things on the back for building horseshoes and stuff, which I don't use that. But I do use this tool all the time. What's so great about it is that it's steel. It's not coated in anything like your normal tape measure. So you can slap it on a piece of hot steel, measure whatever you need to, and not worry about burning anything off. I need to get another one at least to have more around the shop. It's discolored here because I accidentally left it up on my bigger forge a while back and heated it up to get those oxidizing colors. That's why it's discolored, but if I hadn't done that it would still be mostly shiny. If you can get one that's also like a 20-inch, this is a 16-inch. Now I'm sure there's multiple brands out there of these flexible rulers. I've used others that are thinner and a lot flimsier than this. This has a little bit of stiffness to it, which I really like. I don't like the super flimsy like rulers, and I don't know the brands, but if you get one that's got a little bit of stiffness to it, that's really good. And not to be confused with a steel ruler like this that's much thicker and much stiffer and made to use with this square and a couple of other attachments. These are handy as well. I just don't use this nearly as much, even for the same applications. The numbers are a lot more difficult to see on this one. This does have a lot finer graduations, but for the majority of what you're doing, you know, this goes down to 16ths. That's plenty fine. So very useful tool in the shop. Another tool that I use all the time in the shop these days is a magnet. Now this happens to be a welder's magnet that is designed for holding pieces of steel at a particular angle so that you can weld them together. And I have several. This is a smaller size, bigger size. And what I use this for is primarily when cleaning up pieces of steel to make a Damascus billet, but also for grinding the sides of a blade, the tang, etc. I didn't really use these a lot before, and I wish I would have. Now on these particular magnets, there's sort of a recess here, and in order for these to grasp or hold on to your steel sufficiently to work on the grinder, you have to grind off those metal rails, if you will, and right down to the magnet surface. Got that idea from my buddy Austin. Thank you, Austin. Works great. These might not be the best choice because it's some sort of softer compound that surrounds the magnet, like metal powder compound, I don't know, but it actually melts and comes off on your steel. So these particular magnets, probably not the best option. There's other magnetic options out there, and some that are you can turn off and on even. I have not explored those options. That's probably a better option, but even this is so much nicer than trying to hold a piece of steel in your hands working on the grinding bell. So a magnet, something you can hold onto steel with when you're grinding specifically. Very useful tool. Number 3, another oft-used tool in the shop here, and this is a Scribe. This is one that I actually made some years ago. This is a piece of drill rod that I sort of ground down to shape, and this is a mild steel shaft or body that I turned out on the lathe back when I worked in a machine shop. A little rough, but very useful. Works great. I also have another scribe grinder somewhere that's a commercially made scribe. You know, it's got like the carbide tip and the aluminum body, and it's got a magnet on the end. I never use it because it just feels flimsy, number 1, and number 2, the magnet really is not, in my opinion, the greatest thing to have on any tool in a blacksmith shop where you have iron oxide and grinding metal shavings, dust everywhere all the time. So any magnet is going to pick up all this garbage, and it's always going to be on there, and it's just a pain. This is much nicer to be able to pick up and not have to like get junk on whatever you're working with. But some of the things I use this for, obviously, is marking pieces of steel, but I also use it for marking out my handle on my handles on micarta, G10, things like that. And I also use it when I'm making Kydex sheaths, because this works really well to scribe a deep line on the kydex, and I can literally just snap the kydex on that line. That's how I cut my kydex most of the time. It's a lot quicker and cleaner than trying to use a pair of shears, actually. It's a very useful tool. If you can find one without a magnet, something that's nice and sturdy, you need to have one of these in your shop. Number 4, if you do any blacksmithing or bladesmithing and you don't have one of these, you need to get one. This is a butcher block brush, and you can get them off of Amazon for about 16 bucks. This is the best hand-powered tool for cleaning off scale, slag, flux, etc., when you're forging. There are lots of other little wire brushes out there for like welding, or even those bigger block brushes with the finer wire bristles. They just don't really do much. Like, you can literally take steel off with this thing. It is awesome. This one's about wore out. I need to get another one, but do yourself a favor, get one of these. You'll be amazed, if you don't have one already, you'll be amazed how well this works to clean up steel out of the forge. And oftentimes this is all you really need to do without even taking it to like a power wire wheel or anything like that. So butcher block brush, very useful tool. Use it all the time when forging. Gotta have one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped you out in your own shop a little bit. If you have a favorite tool that you don't see talked about very much, go ahead and leave a comment below on it, and let other people benefit from that knowledge as well. That'd be awesome. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on the next video.